Usually when I'm talking to people and I mention reading as one of my habits, the reaction I get is, really? Bro, I can't read for shit. My attention span is too short. Books are boring or something like that. And I go, I understand where you're coming from. I also felt the same. And until I cultivated the habit of reading, I just couldn't read. And then they go, nah, I don't think I'll be able to do that, man. How about I tell you how I established that habit? How I forced myself to love reading. Then you can decide if you want to follow that or not. This was back in 2022. I had just started watching videos from Hamza and other self-improvement channels, and I decided that I needed to establish a habit of reading, of course. Because successful people, as far as we know, read a lot of books, and a lot of the books are from these highly successful people, and they write down these books taking a long time, packing as much value as possible. So you want to be able to access all that information, right? Around this time, I watched James Jani's video Road to Wealth or something, and both Jani and Hamza mentioned the book Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco, and I realized that's the book that I want to start reading with. And of course, I didn't want to buy the book because I thought the ebook was more convenient and I can just, read anytime I want, anywhere I want. So I know that I need to read. I know the book which I need to read. Most people reach to here and the next step they fumble, which is reading that book. I needed to find a slot in my day, a time slot in my day where I would normally do the same thing, like a part of my routine, which is definitely unchanged, unless very rare cases, where I can put this reading habit and I can follow consistently without having to worry about it. Around this time, I used to sleep in my grandma's house because she was alone. And I used to do that since lockdown. And I was living in this house, but I would go there around 10 o'clock. I would spend a lot of time scrolling on my phone till I get sleepy. I decided that was the right time to put the reading habit in. But of course, your phone is very distracting, right? I had to find a way for me to force reading instead of being on my phone. And I made the hard choice there, which changed everything because the books that I read literally changed the perspective of how I view the world. What I did was I left my phone back home. So I can't scroll there. There was no option for me to scroll. And I took with me an old phone that belonged to my dad. It was a Nokia phone. It was Android. And I could get the ebook on that. And I would go to my grandma's house without my phone and I would have this book. And that's it. There's nothing else I could do till I fall asleep. And I was only going to read 10 pages a day because I was establishing a habit. And even on the days when I'm not feeling that good, I would force myself to read those 10 pages. And when I'm feeling like curious and interested and I'm in the flow, I still not read too much. I would just read the 10 pages because I was establishing a habit and I didn't want to burn out or anything. The point I'm trying to make is that I forced a habit. I removed the phone out of my environment. There was no way I could get my phone at that time. I would be bored. So to kill the boredom, I could read the book. Because I had nothing else to do, reading the book kind of became fun. And I started building curiosity as I read through the book. I read around 200 pages. Then I had to leave to, find a college and everything. That's a whole different story I'll cover in another video. This is the key takeaway from the video. Establish your environment in a way that it removes the bad habit and supports the good habit. If you want to start reading, make reading easy, make reading fun, make reading effortless, make reading the only thing you can do. And that way the habit will form itself. And in terms of scrolling, I made sure that my phone was not in my room. And if I had to scroll, I would have to go back to my home to get the phone, which is impractical at that point. And that's how you establish habits. You can click here somewhere for another video that will question the patterns of your mind. And I'll see you in another video.